All right, guys, so the final debate that we've been waiting for a long time is here. Ren, welcome. Welcome to the 100x Club, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. It's nice to be here. And I don't know, you called it the final debate. I think it's the first debate. It's not the final debate.
Yeah, exactly. But we've been talking about this for quite some time, and it kind of pinnacled at this morning call a couple of days ago when we said, you know, is this the bear market? Is this the bull market? You've been pressuring me. I've been pressuring you. So I think we should get this out. I'm super happy to have you here and actually debating this out. So as I was saying when we talked before this, I said, you should just come on and explain why you believe the bull market is still intact and this is just a correction, because my audience knows my view. But then you said,
I'm very happy to do that, Fefe. But the thing is, like you said, you've put your flag down, because I said it's a very simple thing. I think there's a very small chance that the bull market's over, and I put it at about 30%, and I actually think it's a bit lower than that. And you said, no, the bull market's 100% over. Every time that there's a bounce, you've tweeted a victory lap telling people that the bull market's over and it's the end of the bull market. I'm keen to hear why you think it may be the end of the bull market. And then I can tell you why I think it probably isn't. And I can tell you where my 30% is that it is. But I think you can start. You can start off with just maybe enlightening me and telling me why you think it's the end of the bull market.
Look, I also think it's super cool that we're doing this for multiple reasons. One of the main reasons is because fundamentally we're a little bit different when it comes to crypto. You're much more of a macro investor type of person, and I'm much more of a grinder, trading, and obviously holding a spot bag as well. But one thing is certain, that you say 30% probability of not over. I genuinely think no one can predict if it's over or not. We can have a debate, and then 6 months from now, we can see if we were right and then. So I'm just gonna get started with why I believe. So I tweeted this back in July, and I said back in July when we were very much in this heated market that I do think that we're gonna top between November and December and crash 40-60% of the total. We are about 25-30% on that correction in this dip. Now I believe we should start, and this is what you're usually saying, how do I define a bear market and a bull market? So I actually went on to Investopedia and I looked at how Investopedia defines a bull market and a bear market, because I think it's very relevant before we start continuing. So
Investopedia defines a bull market and a bear market 20% off the high and the low.
We can talk about 40%. We can talk about 40%. But we can talk about 40%.
Wait. I think it's very important that we get the definitions here right.
Let's do it.
I think in crypto, when you talk about the end of a bull market, you refer to a 4-year cycle and you refer to a very prolonged bear market. If a discussion is around whether or not we're going to drop 20% and then 1 month later be up above 20%, or 2 months later be up back above the all-time highs, that to me is not a bear market. And I don't think anybody watching this believes that a bear market is, when you say the end of the bull market, I think you're referring to the bull market which began sometime before the elections and has been allegedly going up.
Even we don't agree if there was ever a bull market, right? So the reason why I'm putting this out there straight up is because it's very important to say that when you say I'm sticking to the 4-year thesis, I'm not. I said it multiple times, and I do believe that the 4-year cycles are dead, mostly because the maturity of crypto. I do think Bitcoin will decouple, but just to put this out straight from the very beginning.
Do me a favor, if you could just share my screen.
Your screen is shared.
Okay, so where here was there no bull market? I agree with you that in 2025...
Pull up a Cardano chart. Pull up an Ethereum chart. Pull up a
we're talking about... we're talking about Bitcoin, bro. We're talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about the crypto market. Yeah, let's actually make it even better, right? Just so that we can just agree that, you know, we could say maybe it's not Bitcoin. Let's talk about total crypto market cap, because when you say the bull market is over, you can either refer to... We're not talking about individual alts, because you'll say, Solana, I'll put up Hyperliquid, right?
For me, a bull market ran. Bitcoin has been in a bull market because of the ETFs, because of Trump, because of the US acceptance. That has nothing to do with the crypto bull market that you and I both experienced 2017, both experienced 2021.
This is the total market cap. This represents
60%.
This is the total crypto market cap.
Let me just share my screen for a second. This is Bitcoin dominance. This is Bitcoin dominance.
But can you tell me where there hasn't been a bull market? Because I want to know, because I see up and to the right. So where hasn't there been a bull market?
Yes, I do believe the market has matured.
Okay, wait, hold on. Have we been in a bull market since the 26th of December 2022?
Yes, you can. Bitcoin did go up, and the market as a whole matured.
Total crypto market cap. This is the total crypto market. I mean, when you say the bull market's over, sorry, do you mean the bull market for Cardano? Because then you must write.
I mean, no, I mean the bull market for majority. I said the bull market, not for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a potential to potentially go higher because of the maturity of the asset and because of the ETFs and because of the liquidity sitting on the side, and we'll go in.
Let me call up some of your tweets. Let me call up. You say.
Let me just go through my thesis and then we can debate my thesis. Is that fine with you?
But I don't
okay, let me finish.
So, wait, I'll let you finish. But I don't understand when you say the bull market or the bear market. Are you talking about Bitcoin total market cap? Just tell me what the rules are here. What are the parameters here?
I'm gonna show you here. Okay. So what I've been saying for a long time is that we're going to go down. I'm not gonna run through. It's actually super interesting because on your show you called me. Do you remember this? On the 22nd of September, and on this show I said that we're going to drop down, close it daily on the total market cap, and I do believe we're going into a 40 to 60% correction from there. I don't want to play this because I don't want to waste time. But what I've been saying since then is that this is what is going to happen. Then I made this post on the October 18th. This is the post that basically kickstarted this whole thing when I started saying that the bull market is over. The main reason why one of the main reasons why I believe the bull market is over.
I can see sorry, I can't see that screen. I can see my screen. Is that right? Sorry, I'm not sure.
No, you should be able to see my screen. If you look at Zoom.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm looking at the Zoom, but let's carry on. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, okay. It's very small. It's a small window.
Can you just double click on that and it will come up? Hardest can help. It's just you just have to make mine screen as a pinned one, and you'll be able to see it. Carry on. So if you look at the how market structure works, I've been telling myself for a long time. As you know, I also got regged in 2022, as so many of us did, and I've been telling myself market structure never lies. We see a lot of things in the chart before we see it anywhere else. And the first time I see a daily close below on the total market cap, I am going to get out of the market because there is a potential for a 50, 60, 70% correction on most of the tokens. And this is where Bitcoin differs, but we're going to talk about Bitcoin later. This happened on the 18th. This is when we confirmed and had a final confirmation below. Now, here's what I want to tell you. You talk a lot about Bitcoin and previous cycles and whatnot, so I actually pulled Bitcoin up because it's going to be easier to understand. If you look at Bitcoin, let me pull up Bitstamp here. If you look at Bitcoin, this is the pattern that we see. We do have a high here at 124. We have a pullback and accumulation still above the previous level that created this high. And then we close yet again and create a new all-time high. It's very important that there is a close above the previous high on the daily chart. There is a close above the previous high. That is followed by an immediate rejection and a close below the previous low, the low that created the new high. The only time we have seen this pattern, was in 2021. The last time when this happened, we had a close below, we had a final retrace, and then we had a massive correction and a blow off top. Now this is also, you can consider, I'm gonna miss this run. If I look at the all-time high in April 2021 at 65K, there is literally like a 6%, 7% blow off top after that, and Bitcoin went into a 70% drawdown. So if I consider that the same pattern that's been playing out in 2021, and this is the first time, yes, we did have corrections, all these, but none of them had a break below the daily level. This is the very first time. So that is the major indication for me that we're going into bear market.
Can you please put my mic a bit louder because everyone's complaining they can't
hear my mic. You have to do it.
No, mine is on full here. It's actually, wait, let me try and do it here, but I think it's pretty much on full. Let's see if that gets better. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. That should be better.
Yeah, it's
okay. I hope that's better. Okay. Yeah. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. You were trying
to
say
I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're saying. I just don't understand what you're saying. Can you just hold on? Is my mic better?
I hear you very loud in my ear now. Yeah.
I'll give it. Yeah. Okay, it's great. Okay, so again, I don't understand where you're going with this. I'm asking you a very simple question, right?
I mean, which part you don't understand?
You're telling me what you've called. I still don't understand what you're saying.
I'm telling you what the market is telling you. If there is a structure breaking on the chart that is telling you on the daily level, the market is defined by lows and highs. Very simply, you have demand, you have supply. The moment supply overtakes demand and is stronger than demand, that means that there is much bigger selling pressure and many more people want to get out than want to get in. If you have that on a higher time frame, for example, on a daily chart, it's just simply, and again, like...
I mean, thanks very much for the charting lesson.
Yeah. The market is down about 40-50% since then. That's basically.
I understand. I'm asking you for your view. So you said
Yes.
Fefe, you said the bull market is over. That's
Yes.
what you said, right? Okay. When you say the bull market's over, are you saying that we will not in the next 6 months get to a higher level than we were in the high? So are you saying in the next 6 months we're not going to make a high above 125,000 for Bitcoin and a high on total? Sorry, I just want to get my total chart.
Here is your total chart. I'm gonna bring the total chart up because this is exactly what I wrote in my post here. It's pinned on my X actually. You probably read it. So this is exactly what I say. I believe that we're likely to chop sideways or drift lower for a while, building up liquidity. Then we'll get a final push into the bearish daily order block around 4.17 trillion, which will look exactly like this. And we're gonna reject from there. Now the difference comes.
And then hold on. And when we reject from there, what happens after that?
We're going down. We're going down from the top at least 67%.
To where? To where? Sorry, to where?
Just bring up my chart.
I can't see. I've tried to pin you, unpin you. I can only see my screen. So I'm going to try and unshare and then I'll share again. But okay, let's carry on.
In Zoom. Just see it in Zoom. I do think that the correction will come down all the way to this monthly OB. So 2.55 trillion in total market cap. That's what I believe we're going down to.
So you're saying we're going down 2.5? Sorry, just give me
about 2.6, 2.5. Yes.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on.
And I don't think that Bitcoin is going down.
So you're saying, just hold on. So you're saying that we are going to go down from the top of the market cap. We're going to go down to. Let me just
pull up your chart.
To 2.6. So you're saying there's a 40% correction from the top to bottom.
At least, yeah.
Okay. And what's your time frame?
So I believe that we're going to see this until Q1 next year. Q1, Q2. So that's a complete. Q2. Yeah, so that's a complete different reason because I do believe that, yes, liquidity will come back, but everybody thinks that QT ending in December means that they're just going to stop printing trillions that going straight into crypto, and I don't think that is the play. That's one. The two is that the stock market is at all-time highs, and I think everything needs to correct before JP. Everybody knows that Jerome Powell will be replaced in May, the rates will be cut excessively, and money printing will start. The big beautiful bill will go into effect mid-next year. We've got the midterm elections. We do have all this stuff happening, which is an extreme catalyst for a massive rally. But if anybody believes, at least I don't believe, that smart money, the $7 trillion that is sitting at money funds, is just going to start top blasting both the S&P, the Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. I think that's not going to happen. And for them to run this, in my opinion, you can call this conspiracy theory, but the reason why I believe we should actually complete this by Q1, Q2 is because by the time JP gets replaced, we should have the buying opportunity for smart money.
Okay, so your thesis is that when you say the bull market is over, it's over. And in your mind, when do you think? Because I don't know, when people tell me that a crypto bull market is over, based on experience, I imagine that we're going to get into a scenario that looks like, I don't know. Can you see my screen? I'm not sure if you see my screen.
Yes, I see.
Okay, so when people tell me in crypto that there's going to be a bear market, then I imagine that they mean that the bear market is something similar to what happened from 2018 to 2020 to 2020, a 2-year long.
This market has been different in every aspect.
Hold on, wait. So I want to make. So you're saying we're going to go down on total market cap another 30%.
Yes.
So you're saying we're going to go down from where we are now, and we're going to get to
at least
2.5. Okay, that's another 30% down on the altcoins, on the total market cap. And
which is another 40-50% at least on most of the tokens.
Okay, and then you think that is going to when is the next time after that we'll see 3.45 trillion, which is where we are today?
Oh, I think we're gonna have. So I also shared this in this tweet. I said that most likely, in my opinion, Bitcoin is going to 300 to 500,000 next year. I think the liquidity
in 2026.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
So okay. So then what we're saying is
Q4 is going to be very bullish, in my opinion.
So then let's maybe lay out the places where we agree and maybe the places we disagree. So, I agree that the number is up and to the right. I don't really give a shit about 2 and 3 month time frames. It's not how I trade. It's not how I buy things. That's not that's not how I've made money in crypto, is by trying to time 2 and 3 month market movements in crypto. The money that I've made,
but yeah,
it doesn't matter. I mean, the money that I've made in crypto is because I bought Bitcoin at $500 and I bought Bitcoin at, I don't know, $1,000 and $1,500 and $2,000 and $12,000 and $50,000. And I just held it and it went up. And I bought Solana at 13, 15, 19, 5, 50, 100, and I just hold it. And that's how I make money in crypto. So by virtue of that, I don't actually look to try and time the 2 and 3 month cycles. The only reason why I time 2 and 3 month cycles is because I use them as buying opportunities and I use them as selling opportunities. So I go from being more high risk in my portfolio, holding alts that are lower down market caps, and then I contract and I going back into things like Solana, ETH betas and stuff like that. That's the only reason why I time the market. I very, very, very seldom go short unless it's a specific play. So if there's a specific play, I'll go short, but I try not to short the market because in general, my thesis is that we're going up and to the right. And generally, I try never to play against my thesis in the short term because I don't have time to manage those positions, right?
How do you define short term? Like if you even look at this, Solana is down 40% from September. If this thing starts bleeding and Solana goes to 100, you can't tell me that is the strategy to just hold through a 50% drawdown. People don't also underestimate the fact that if you are holding through a 50% drawdown, that is 100% pump for you to just be at break even.
Yeah, so but you're making an assumption. You're making an assumption that you're going to be able to call the market and catch it every single time. I prefer not to play the game.
From the post that I made, I can already buy 50% cheaper.
Okay, cool. You got this one lucky, to be honest. You got this one lucky, and there are a whole lot of others that you didn't get lucky. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Congratulations. So you got one lucky, and then I have a list of 5 times that you got it unlucky, right? So the thing is, it's like I don't want to play that game of trying to time the market. It's too.
I have it as well.
Yeah, so I don't play the game. The difference is that you play the game of timing the market. I don't play the game of timing the market.
I think
the only thing that I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing that I do is I have a very, very, very simple strategy, right? I look at fear and greed, and I trade only based on fear and greed. And right now we're in extreme fear, and my thesis is that the technology is going to get better, and we've had a 30-40% correction. I'm deploying. In fact, I said on Friday, I think all my bottom indicators have basically almost hit. Kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe one more tiny leg down, but otherwise I think the bottom is completely in already. And basically now, like, it's up and to the right. Now, look, will we have another correction? Yes, we probably will. Do I really feel like being the guy to time it? No, because in case I get it wrong, I'm going to lose a whole lot of Solana. I've done that. I've played that
but you're
game.
not going to lose. That's the whole point. You're not going to lose.
If you time it 100% right. The problem
what
is,
I'm saying is, do you agree on the fact that the market runs? So from historical data, we can actually see and take conclusions. Is that correct or no?
Fefe, I've played this game, bro.
But can we take conclusions from history?
I played this game trying to. I'll tell you what happened. I played this game.
But the worst case that happens is that you preserve your capital and then you get in 20% higher.
No, but you're not preserving your capital. The worst thing that happens is that you sell your Solana at 120, thinking. Yeah, let me give you an example of Zcash, because I think Zcash had a bull market in a very short period of time, right? The researchers came to me, or one of the researchers, I won't mention any names. One of the researchers came to me at $350, and he said to me, "It's run from $60. That's it. It's time to get out." And I said to him, "No, it's not time to get out, because this could be the next Bitcoin, or it could be 10% of Bitcoin's market cap."
Yeah,
in which case,
you're talking about a fundamental token that is being hyped.
Wait. It's the same thing. A market is a market, bro.
But it's not the same thing.
No, because you would have exited, and a lot of people said, "Let's exit Zcash." I didn't. I just held it. Why? Because my fundamental belief is just to hold good things for a long period of time. Now it's at 600. Now the same guys that thought it was overheated at 350, they're hoping and praying that the correction will take them down to 350. And it probably won't. And so the thing is, I'll have less Zcash than if they just held. I've played that game, bro. And I've seen other people play that game. And it's the surest and quickest way to end up losing your money. You're not going to time the market right.
Let me reflect. So one is, this is the Zcash chart, okay? This token has done nothing in 10 years. Now it's being hyped, and now we're talking about this move, how you timed it or not. That's not relevant. What I'm saying is that if you look at history, and also you said fear and greed. Let's look at fear and greed. Through the entire 70% drawdown, majority of the time we were in extreme fear. The fact that we're extreme fear doesn't mean, like, this is exactly how the drop started back in 2021 as well. Look at this, extreme fear, and we were down 70% from there. All I'm saying is that if I say, for example, to my community, that the bull market, in my opinion, is over and we reevaluate 2-3 months from now, again, since the post, the market is down 50%.
But then it's not a bull market, it's over. Then it's a correction. That's a correction in a bull market. That's very different.
No, it's very different. Is a 70% correction a correction or a crash?
I don't know, guys. Let me know. Guys, let me know in the chat.
We do have this. Look, we do have this.
When someone says to me, hold on. When someone says to me, the crypto bull market is over, it insinuates that they mean that we're going to get into a 1 or 2 year long period where the market goes down.
But it doesn't have to rent. It's a 70%
hold on, if you're telling
drawdown.
me, wait, if you're telling me it's a 2 or 3 month little blip in the chart and then we're going to hit the higher high, I'm not even, like, I don't even look at that shit. I don't care about that. I don't trade that shit. Like, I'm not in to try and catch the tops, because the problem is that if I do get into a Zcash where I think that I've called the top and then I don't catch the top, the problem is that I'm going to lose all my Zcash. And that just gives you, Zcash is a market, like it or not. And
I think it's good what they're saying here. I think it's true what they are saying, they're a holder and trader. But the difference is, Ren, if you look at this, like the worst case scenario, again, like let's just stick to Bitcoin because, you know, it's easier to understand here. If I just say, I have an invalidation here. I say, if we have another close above here, I'm just going to do, even if from here, we rally, I got out here. So I missed what? A 15% run. But if you look at Solana, for example, just as an example, since September is down 40%. If you look at Doge, same thing. You get Cardano's shit, it's gonna be done anyway. Link, you know, like ETH, like all of these things, I'm preserving capital. And I agree, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that a 70% drawdown or even a 50% drawdown can be considered as a bull market correction. A 50% correction that would last 6 months, which it will in my opinion, I don't think that's a correction.
That's definitely
that's a different
crypto.
Market condition.
In crypto, that's definitely a bull market correction, bro. That's how crypto looks. If you share my screen, I'll show you. Yes. I mean, you've seen this a million times. I mean, those are the crypto corrections, right?
Yes.
Are you telling me? Hold on. Are you telling me? Was there a bull market from July 2015 to December 2017? Was there a bull market or was there no bull market? Okay.
Where do you see a 50% correction? Like the whole
there was this is Bitcoin. You're talking about altcoins and stuff. This is Bitcoin, and in Bitcoin there's a 40% correction here. Was that a bear market? It wasn't. It was just a blip in a bull market. And you know what?
How long did that last?
A couple of weeks, couple of months. I don't remember exactly.
How long this correction is lasting now?
About normal. A month, 2 months makes no difference. It makes no difference. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Because if you're holding from 2015 now,
but if we start going down for what will happen? And I'm genuinely interested about this. What happens if comes December we're still below all time? What happens if comes January and we're still below all time high, chopping the same 40%? Is it still a correction for 3-4 months? What's your validation of correction? 4 months.
Hold on a second. Let me ask you a question. Let me just ask you a question.
I'm sharing the chart.
Hold on. Let me just pull up something here so that you can see it. Hold on. Okay, I want to ask you a question here quickly.
No, I'm asking you a question. What's your validation for a correction?
Has the S&P been in a bull market in 2025? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree with me that for a long period in 2025, in other words, from the 19th of Feb until for 132 days.
Yeah, but that's different. You're bringing in a Trump. That's a completely different thing than just the market correcting. Quantitative easing is about to start. Quantitative tightening happens in December, and our market is down 40%. It's a different environment.
No, I sorry, but again, like for me, it's very simple. When you say the bull market is over, what you're insinuating is that we're going. If you go to anyone in crypto and you say to anyone in crypto, the bull market's over, you are insinuating that you're going into this period of a long 1 or 2 years of a bear market. If you're saying that you think the bull market's over for 3 months, then I agree.
6 months. I do think so. Yeah. I think in my world, a 60% drawdown for 6 months is not a correction. I can't call that a correction because it's not a correction. A correction is what you just showed on the S&P, right? I didn't sell when the whole Trump news came in. In fact, I bought as well. Why? Because the structure wasn't broken, because there was an external factor to it, and we knew that Trump was going to make this right.
Then I think it's just semantics. And to be honest, I think anybody in crypto that you speak to and say it's the end of the bull market, which is what you said, you implied, and people believe that it's the end of the crypto bull market and then we go into a 1 or 2 year bear market.
What's your invalidation for correction?
Hold on. What is my invalid?
So when will you say it comes March? We are 50% lower. Would you say it's a correction?
It comes March. I would say no. By that time, I'd say we're probably in a bear market. Yeah.
So what's your invalidation? So we started in let's say we started in October, right? When I made the post. What is your invalidation that yes, we are in fact in a bear market?
Probably 6 to 9 months.
Oh, exactly. So for me, it's gonna last 6 to 9 months. I don't think so. If we are here, let's say okay, so now it's October. If it's April and we still didn't make a new all-time high, are you gonna start selling everything?
No, because I'm a multi-cycle investor. That's the difference, right?
Yeah, but
so
what would you tell the average guy who has $1,000?
I've already sold. No, wait. I've already sold anything that I don't want to hold for multi-cycle. Probably 90% of my portfolio today sits in tokens that I want to hold for the next couple of years, right? Hyperliquid, Solana, ETH,
but
BNB.
Also, you have to look at it from the community's perspective. You're sitting on amounts that you can just stack aside, and it won't. You shouldn't even think about it. But if someone has, I don't know, $1,000, $10,000, $5,000, whatever, they can't weather. You can't tell them to weather a 70% storm, and in 6 months we figure it out. How?
Of course you can. Because the problem is if you try and time the market, you'll lose your $5,000.
But in the worst case scenario that happens is that I preserve capital, because if I get out here, which I did, 50%.
No, the worst case scenario is that the market starts running and you're not back in the market. That's the worst case.
But I can't be back in the market if we make a daily high, which is an invalidation. It's a clear invalidation. If we make a high after breaking the structure, I'm gonna miss what? I'm gonna miss a 14% move.
Yes,
all I'm saying.
Exactly. I don't want to miss the moves. I don't want to miss the moves.
So you're risking 80% to not miss a 14% move?
Yeah, because I'm holding it for multi-cycle. Because I don't care. Because I don't want to time it. I don't want to time it, bro. I don't want to spend my time, because the problem is that if I am wrong 5 times, then I'll get less and less and less Bitcoin. I've tried that game. I did it in 2017. I played this game.
You're not getting less. You're just not getting as many more. You're not getting 14%.
I want to keep my whole stash. I tried this game in 2017. I tried to time the market. The problem is it's 14% here, it's 10% there, and at the end of it, the portfolio that just held the Bitcoin landed up with a lot more money. Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question. The richest people that you know in crypto. How many of them are in and out traders?
No, you're right. You're right on this extent, 100%. But 99% of people can't do it, bro. I have my Bitcoin. I even told you on my shows a million times.
That's how I thought, Fefe. That's how I thought in 2017.
Bro, if someone has $5,000, if someone has $5,000,
yes,
they can't sit there, wait for Bitcoin to be 300,000 and make 15,000, because that makes no difference in their life.
I guarantee you, someone who has $5,000, my advice, someone who has $5,000, put $4,000 into something and lock it away and never look at it again, and take $1,000 and try and beat the performance. And I guarantee you the $1,000 will disappear.
Yes, but the things that they would have put it in is down 60% the past month. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, but exactly. September. Yes, but if it bounces, the problem is that you're going to miss 20% moves in the bounce, and you're going to miss 20% move on the way up. Not worth it, bro. Not worth it.
Yeah, I think honestly, I'm super happy that we did this, or we're doing this, because it just shows the two different mentalities. I completely understand what you're saying. And also, I said it multiple times. I have Bitcoin on my ledger. I'm not touching. It's just, I'm actually at the end of every month.
But why aren't you touching the Bitcoin on your ledger? Because you're so sure that, why don't you go to the, if you're so sure, you have so much conviction about your thesis, you have the Bitcoin on the ledger, you're so certain about this chart that you're willing to tell your whole community. Why don't you just sell? Why don't you sell the Bitcoin on your ledger and buy them back cheaper? Because you're so confident the market's going to go down. Why don't you do that?
Because you never sell your Bitcoin. You sell. I sold ETH. I sold Solana. I sold everything that I considered risky. All the memes, everything. The only thing I didn't sell is Bitcoin, and the reason is because exactly what you say. I agree on that aspect, but I don't mind, because if my Bitcoin will be worth 300,000 next year or 5 years from now, I'm gonna be extremely happy. But with someone holding $1,000 in Bitcoin, it doesn't matter to them.
According to your theory, you said that you can outsmart the market. So if you're that confident,
that's also not true.
Take your Bitcoin on the ledger. If you got so much conviction that the market's going to be down 6 months from now, take the Bitcoin on the ledger, sell them, and buy them back cheaper in 6 months. You're preserving capital.
I actually think that I would be able to. Easily we would be able to.
Cool.
One thing that I think is very important.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking, as I said again, I think I'm not going to say it anymore because it doesn't matter, but we can't go from one to the next. But what is relevant is that if someone has $1,000, I can't with a good heart tell them, hey, just keep holding on to it because you will be a multi-cycle investor. I can't. Why?
I guarantee you, if someone has $1,000, I guarantee you that 9 out of 10 people that have $1,000 and try and trade the market will end up with nothing.
Yes,
and
but there is
9 out of 10 people.
Now we're comparing two. Capital preservation. Yes.
Fefe, I have the stats from the exchanges.
Okay.
Right, and I can tell you that 95 or 96% of people who are trading lose money, and their account goes to zero. Right. That is not my stats. That's stats from the exchanges.
That has nothing to do with
unless you think that you're the other 4%, timing the market is just not a smart strategy. Like you can argue with me as much as you want. The exchange data tells you the whole story.
But
you know
the exchange data doesn't tell you a higher time frame outlook that happened exactly the same way in 2021.
The exchange data,
what you're talking now is risk reward.
The exchange data,
risk management. It has nothing to do.
No. The exchange data takes 100% of the people that deposit money in the exchange and looks at the people that are trading and says how many of them actually landed up with money, let alone with more than they invested, with money. And 96% of them lose their entire account to zero. Why? Because they try time the market. And 96% of people, don't know how to time the market. Now look, you may be the 4%. And I actually believe that you probably are the 4%. But that said, I would rather not take that risk and just do what 100% of people that have bought Bitcoin and held Bitcoin have done, and that's make money. Same thing with 100% of people who have bought Solana. In the long term, they'll make money. The same thing with 100% of people.
But then why do you do a show every single? If that's the case, why do you do a show every day?
Because I look at new narratives. Look at my show. My show doesn't tell people
you're
to sell.
trading. Exactly what you're doing.
I am looking for new narratives.
Yes.
No, I'm looking for new narratives, and I'm investing in new narratives as and when they come up. That is how I make my money. I don't trade in and out and chart levels. Bro, have you ever seen me trading in and out of a token? No, I buy and I hold.
But on the daily chart, you can trade in and out. So what you're doing is that you're buying a narrative, you're selling a couple of months later. Is that correct?
Correct.
Exactly.
I buy a narrative.
So that's trading.
I see, for example, I see Zcash. I see a narrative. I see a privacy narrative. I see it at $60 or $70 or $80, and then I'll end up buying it and I hold it. And now I probably will end up holding Zcash for a couple of years because that is how I think I'm going to make the most money, right? I could have tried to trade it, and when everyone told me, if everyone told me that the RSIs were high and whatever else, I would have sold it at 350. I would have taken the advice of some of my researchers. I didn't, because I've seen this game before. Those that hold for long periods of time make money. Now, you asked me, a guy's had $1,000, and he would have put 50 of the $1,000 into Zcash. He would have had $1,000.
Just 1 second. We actually put up a vote to see who you agree with. So just go and vote, and after Ren finishes, we're going to look at it. Yeah, sorry?
Yeah. So again, I prefer not to try and trade because I've tried it. I've done this, bro. I realized in 2017 that 2 or 3% land up making money. Again, you cannot argue with exchange data. I know you've seen the exchange data. So I know that you're not going to dispute the exchange data. 96% of all people land up losing all their money.
Ren, I think what is very important for you to understand, in my opinion, for you in trading in general, and I'm gonna teach you. We have the proper bear market. If we ever are gonna have a 2-year long bear market, I'm gonna go to you and I'm gonna teach you about the actual market structure. Because if you look at this, you're saying that I'm risking, but I'm not risking. Why? Because there are clear invalidation levels on the chart. If I'm saying,
okay,
I'm gonna get out here.
Can I ask you a question?
Can I ask you a question? If I get out here, which is what I did. The worst case scenario, literally the worst, and
can you just switch to my chart, please?
Yes.
Okay. What if I would have sold all my tokens here when you said it was time? If I would have bought here when you said it was time for the final pump, and then the price of Bitcoin is 20% down since then, what would have happened? I would have lost 20% of my capital.
Probably
I would have lost 20% of my capital.
Probably the same thing would have happened. Probably the same thing would have happened if I bought here. That's probably what would have happened.
Because you're holding.
No, but you're holding through a 70% drawdown. You're holding through a 70% drawdown. That's the point. That you don't have to hold through a 70% drawdown if you can miss a 13%.
And if you miss 5 times, you're gonna lose 20% of your money every time. That's what the data says.
I think. Look, I think
And
it's. I think it's incredible. I think. This shows very much how a trader mindset and a long-term investor. I actually have to agree with you to the extent that yes, there is. If you have larger capital that actually makes a change in your life, if it goes up 2x, 3x, you have no other job to do.
I don't agree. I don't agree. That's not my attitude. That it's because I have more capital. I think I would have had the same. I tried when I had less capital in 2017 and I failed. I tried to trade in 2017. I failed. I failed badly. Why? Because I called the top too early.
Did you have a clear validation? Or
just like you, yes, just like all the technical analysis courses, bro. Exactly. And I called it wrong and I lost 20% of my Bitcoin because Bitcoin went up or went down or whatever else, right? It's not worth it. I realized then that you just buy Zcash, hold Zcash, and chill. And while everybody's trying to time the market, you would have sold Zcash, based on your tops and your charts, you would have sold Zcash at $350 because that's when all the technical people sold.
You know what is interesting? I actually didn't buy, and I know I missed it, but I bought now before the pump. Why? Because it came back to my level. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. It came back to my level, and I bought Zcash.
I just got in at 120. I just got in at $120, and I'm chilling.
Amazing.
I didn't believe that this thing didn't come to your level, bro. I bought and I'm holding. Yeah. I bought and I'm just holding, bro.
So here's a question: are you going to hold Zcash multi-cycle?
Yes.
So okay, just put this up as well. So Zcash is $700 to $600 and something today, right?
Yes.
Just pull up a Zcash chart. Do you have a Zcash chart?
Yes. Yeah, I've got a Zcash chart. No problem. Yeah, I've got it. Put it up.
Okay. So where is it at now? $637.
$700. Yes.
Okay. So you say that you're gonna hold it multi-cycle. What does that mean? You holding it for 3 years, 4 years?
My thesis on Zcash is a very simple thesis. It is that we cannot use Bitcoin as money. Institutions will never, ever, ever use Bitcoin as the store of value as a transactional money, because they will never do that because they require some kind of privacy. The privacy has to be compliant. Right now, there's only one money that has compliant privacy that is on proof of work that actually has network effect, and that's Zcash, right? Now, based on what I saw with Bitcoin, I think the same cypherpunk movement that was on getting a decentralized money is now on trying to get a decentralized private money, right? And so my thesis is a very simple thesis. I don't know how much of Bitcoin's value the private money will represent, but for me, Zcash will be the private money, or that's the bet that I've taken, that Zcash will be the private money.
So
there are a lot of reasons why I've taken forever, alongside my Bitcoin stash, forever, until
you can't say that to someone who has $2,000 to hold forever.
Of course I can, because if you would have put your $2,000 into Zcash at $100, that would have been worth $12,000, and you can then hold it. I've taken out my initial capital, right? I've taken out my initial capital, and now I hold it forever, and I've still got my initial capital to play with. It's the best fucking deal in the world.
Yeah, amazing. Ren, let's as some final thoughts. Let's do some.
Wait, so let me show you my bear case, because I remember I said to you there's a 30% bear case, right? So I'll show you my 30% bear case, just so that you understand I'm not flying blind here, right? My 30% bear case comes from.
I'm sharing your screen.
Yeah. Number one, the end of the 4-year cycle, which I don't really believe in the 4-year cycle, but I didn't believe in it the last 2 times as well, and then it bit the scorpion came and bit me in the bum. So my thesis around the fact that we may actually could see a 1-year correction actually is around the S&P. And if I look at the S&P and I look at a chart of how the S&P has performed for the last 10, 11 years or 7, 8 years, but this chart actually does go a bit further back, is that we touch the top of this channel over here, and there's 2 things that can happen. One is that we tap, and we somehow get through the top of the channel. But the more likely scenario, based on what this chart is doing, is that we're going to do something like that. That is basically what the bear case thesis for me is. If that's the case, and it could be the case, because It did it here. It did it here. And it kind of did it like somewhere over here. But let's ignore that one for now. We could get a market that basically starts going something like that. And then we can get a 1.5 year downtrend on the S&P. Or we could just chop here, chop here, chop here. I highly doubt, but I mean, you know, I've been wrong before, that we're going to go into a different channel. And if we do, you know, then we're talking about something like really, really, really extenuating circumstances. Like if we're going to break out of a 10-year channel, it's got to be because the government's printing more money, because something fundamental is really happening. So my bear case is that we've touched the top of the channel here. We've been rejected this time. We were rejected over here. Probably will get rejected over here. And that would be the bear case. That's where my 30% comes from. My 30% says that the 4-year cycle is over, and coincidentally, the S&P also hit the top of a channel, the 10-year-old channel. I've got to be open to the idea that we could go down. And if we do go down, then I've got to look at previous S&P corrections, and previous S&P corrections look something like that, where it can take a year to a year and a bit to actually correct, and then a long time to actually get back up. In fact, the last one took 2 years to actually get back up. So that is where my 30% probability that it's the end of the cycle. That said, none of the, like I've been here for 2.5 cycles, and in none of the cycles that I've seen has a bull market ended with such little enthusiasm, such little euphoria, such little exuberance. I think markets are driven by energy. And I think that the closer you get to the top, the more energy you want to see in a market. And I don't think that this market had any energy. And that's why my 70% case remains that we're still going up, because we just haven't got enough energy for a market to bottom. However, the stock market did get energy. And so if the stock market comes down, I don't see a world where the stock market comes crashing down and crypto basically flies to the moon. That world doesn't exist for me.
So do you think when JP is out and they're gonna start cutting rates and the big beautiful bill and all that, do you think that the people who are sitting on $7 trillion just gonna top blast the S&P, or they gonna make sure that it comes lower so they can get it cheaper?
I think you're playing into crypto narratives, and the reason why is, like I say, you're playing into crypto narratives. There is a fixed income market, and a fixed income market, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that it's fixed at 7 trillion, but like 4 trillion of that will always be in fixed income. And why? Because they want to preserve. People that are investing in fixed income are doing it because they want instant liquidity and they want very little risk, right? You think about a fixed income investor, someone who's investing at 3%. He says, look, it's my treasury of my company. I can't afford to lose it, right? Therefore, I'm willing to invest in something where I get 2 or 3%, and I'm very happy to invest in that something, right? So, yeah. So that is the thing. So I don't think that money is just miraculously. I don't think that money toggles between stock market and fixed income and stock market and fixed income.
Because so you think there should be no drop? Like these guys just, and even if we're talking about just $1 trillion, they're gonna just top blast the S&P and the Nasdaq, and there'll be no narrative to be created for them to get in lower. If as rates come down, a very small percentage of the fixed income market will go into other investments, and logically it will push the markets back up. Yes. But hold on, wait, hold on. Yep. Let's just go one step back. The probability of that happening is not 100%. Even when Jerome Powell leaves, and even when you bring in whoever comes in, right? You've still got a scenario where inflation is currently at 3.1%, and they blame in the tariffs for the inflation, but I don't think it's about the tariffs. I think you go to the USA, and the same hotel room that used to cost you $500 cost you $1,200 now, right? And the same drink that used to cost you $10 is costing you $15 now, like it or not. That's not tariffs. That is inflation. Now, you have inflation at 3.1%, and you have unemployment skyrocketing at the moment, right? I don't know if it's a foregone conclusion that the Fed can just print money, because then they're going to get themselves into 5 and 6% inflation again. Yeah, but if they don't print, that's gonna be devastating for the markets on the short run.
But
if everybody
okay, and what does that devastation look like? Just pull up my screen.
Yes.
Does that devastation potentially look like that?
Yeah, it looks like a 30% correction on the S&P and a 50% correction on Bitcoin. Yeah, on a
There
long
it
enough
is.
time
There it
frame.
is.
I think this is where the debate is interesting because I think so. You can't put a trader and a long-term investor into debating about what's going to happen because I say I don't want to hold through a 70% correction.
You can. I'll tell
and
you why.
Just hold through
You know,
a 70%
I'll tell you why.
correction.
I'll tell you why. Because I played that game. I played your game, bro.
You didn't play. You played a game which you thought was the game that I'm playing.
No. I played the same game as you. Maybe I didn't have the same chart knowledge. Blah 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 blah.
It's like it's like if you race a 𝗙𝗏 from the Soviet Union, is comparing that to a Formula One car. That's not the same. I know that you're car racing, but it's different. I don't have as much knowledge on investing as you do, but I don't think you have as much knowledge in trading than I do. And if I look at a chart and it says the exact same pattern that is used in every single market on a lower time frame to a higher time frame and has been proven right majority of the time, the probabilities are that we are going into
So
a major
let's settle this once and for all. Let's put 10 grand in an account. You do your way, I do my way, and let's talk again in 3 years.
3 years? Okay, yeah, do it. I think I propose something. I'm down, but I propose something much more interesting, which is let's set a date. I think a lot of things were said here, and I think the audience also enjoyed it a lot. I think it was amazing. Let's pick a date when we come back and reflect and do another debate on the market, so we can see where the market went. What do you think would be? So you said 6 months if we stay under a no all-time highs for majority of the market, then it is a bear market, and you're gonna just hold multi-cycle. So what do you think would be the perfect time to do the second debate?
Look, again, so remember, I'm 30% in your camp that the bull market is over. So therefore I've gone into the most conservative mode that I've been in for a long time, right? I'm only holding multi-cycle plays, which is not how I normally trade. Like I'm holding shit that I don't mind in 4 years. If you talk to me about it, I don't mind holding the same shit. That's like, you have to understand now. I'm holding Bitcoin. I'm holding ETH. I'm holding Zcash. I'm holding 𝗙𝗢𝗏. I'm holding Solana. I'm holding the big Solana players. I'm holding 𝗙𝗘𝗏. I'm holding, like, these are things that I'm holding the perps dexes and stuff like that. That's currently, that's what I'm holding at the moment. So with that in mind, like, if it's 6 months, like I've gone into the mode of, for me, this bull market could be over.
But now you're flip-flopping. So you're saying that it's raging bull, the bottom is in, we're gonna do all-time highs. Like, so if that's what you're saying, what is your invalidation for that?
No, I'm saying 30% chance that we're not in a raging bull.
Okay, so 70% chance we are.
And for me, 30% is a massive a chance of, it's a very, very, very big chance. And I don't want to risk my money on a 30% correction, right?
Which is already 45, 50, but I understand what you're saying. Should we do it in March?
Yeah, we can meet you whenever you want.
Does it make sense to do it in March?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so we March, we come back, and then we see what happens. Maybe we'll even mix it with an FOMC. I don't know if there is FOMC in March, but we're gonna mix it in. Any final thoughts?
Someone says, how do you make money in downtrending and mean reverting markets? The answer is very simple. You buy and you hold. That's so
short.
Simple.
You short.
I don't. Yeah, you can't. I don't believe in shorting a market where your long-term thesis is up, because you never know when it's going. If you're like, let me give an example of when I short something. If I know something is worth nothing, I short it, because I know that my long-term conviction is that thing's going to go to zero, right? So you short it. But otherwise, in a market that you believe at some point is going to go up, don't short it, because if you mistime it and it goes up without you, your short.
Then you have an invalidation level and a calculated risk. But that's for another show. Ran, appreciate you here. Level. Any final thoughts you have? I have my final thoughts, which I want to share, but I don't know.
Please share them.
Final thoughts. No, I want you to share.
No, I'm good. You carry on.
I brought this here. First of all, I appreciate you a lot, always. And I watched your interview with 𝗙𝗢𝗏𝗏. And when I watched it, I was thinking, I'm going to start the debate with this, but then I didn't end up starting with it. I want to end with it. And I just want to play your words, because I think they are super, super relevant. And I think rounds up everything that we talked about pretty nice.
I guess we always have to pay attention to the fact that we may think that the cycle's different. We may think that the cycle's longer. But every time we've done that, even though n only equals 2 or n only equals 3, we've been caught out. So I mean, for those of us that have been here for a while, we kind of know that you got to, at this stage of the cycle, you got to be cautious and you got to keep an open mind about every scenario. Even though you want the market to go up, the market owes you nothing, and
the market owes us nothing. So we need to be cautious. And yeah, I think it's
my version of cautious. So wait, my version of cautious is to put your money into multi-cycle plays versus speculating on plays that are in the cycle, just so you understand. That's my version of cautious. The second thing is, which I'm seeing people comment here, is how are you going to make money? How are you going to make money if you don't start with a lot of money? And I've said it to you. I guarantee you that you will make more money just buying and holding than you will trying to trade in and out and in and out and in and out of this market. I've proven it time and time again. I'm willing to take anyone that bet on a 3-year time horizon. I put money into an account, you put money into account. Let's see what's left at the end of 3 years.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So I take this bet. So
okay,
you're saying that the difference is that you're gonna both put in $10,000 into an account, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that you buy everything on the date we start the challenge and you don't touch it.
No. I'll take very, very, very few bets. Like I'll take long-term bets.
What is a long-term bet?
I'll skim.
So you touch it one time a year on a set day, on the same day when we started. Because that's what investing is. You don't because if you're taking 2 months, 3 months, that's trading.
But the thing is, if thesis changes, macro conditions change, you chop.
Exactly.
No. Like
if the chart changes.
No. If the government comes out and says, for example, hey, we're going to ban privacy, or there's a good chance you're going to ban privacy, you take some chips off the privacy table, right? You're not an idiot.
Yeah, but how do you define this? Then how do you take the bet? Like that's okay. So if
you study your thesis, you have a thesis.
No. But the thesis is you say that you can outperform by just simply holding anyone. I say the opposite. I take the opposite bet. How do we know that you're holding and I'm trading? Like, what's the definition to that?
Yeah, it probably comes down to like a number of trades, or how much of your capital you can retrade every year.
So maybe 2 times a year?
I don't know, because I've
Think about
never
it.
done that exercise.
We will do this on the next show. So if anybody wants to see, guys, subscribe to the 100x Club. We're also gonna have in a call.
Someone here says it's over a long time. Okay, show me one person that's made hundreds of millions in crypto trading. Just show me one. I just want to see one. Bro.
James Wynn. Oh, he lost hundreds of millions trading. Sorry, that's the difference.
Exactly.
Ren, appreciate you as always. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I enjoy this a lot. I
think the community enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, guys, did you enjoy it? Let us know in the chat. We're reading the chat here as well. Yeah, bro, appreciate you, and
thanks, bro.
See you around. And guys,
much
if you
love,
enjoyed
bro.
it, share it, smash the like, subscribe to 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗘 as well. And if you haven't heard about Ren yet, just check him out on X. He's sharing a lot of cool stuff there. Okay, guys, thank you so much, Ren. Thanks a lot. And guys, if you are here and if you enjoy this and if you actually want to trade, subscribe to the channel, smash the like, share it with your friends, and watch the daily updates, which will be here. Subscribe here, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being with us. Take care. Ciao, ciao.